1 year ago, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth changed everything we thought we knew about remakes. It didn't just bring back a beloved classic, it rewrote the rules of what a remake could be. A game that was once a simple turn-based RPG from the late 90s suddenly transformed into one of the most ambitious reimaginings in gaming history. And now, looking back a year later, its impact is still being felt. But was this bold new direction the right move? Did Square Enix successfully balance nostalgia and innovation, or did it stray too far from what made Final Fantasy VII legendary in the first place? To understand just how much Final Fantasy VII Rebirth changed the series, we need to look at three major factors: its approach to storytelling, its gameplay evolution, and its impact on the industry. A story that defies expectations. When Final Fantasy VII Remake came out, fans already knew something was off. The ending teased a completely new direction, one that wasn't just retelling the original story, but breaking free from it. Rebirth took that idea and ran with it. Characters who were once bound by fate. Suddenly, their futures were uncertain. Plotlines that were set in stone, now rewritten. Even core themes like destiny and free will were turned upside down. One of the boldest moves was how it played with our expectations. The original Final Fantasy VII had an iconic, tragic moment that shaped the story forever. Rebirth, however, made it clear that we can't be sure of anything anymore. Some fans loved the unpredictability. Others felt it was a betrayal of what the game was supposed to be. But whether you were thrilled or frustrated, one thing was clear: Rebirth wasn't just a remake, it was a reinvention. A gameplay evolution that divided fans. Beyond the story, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth also changed the way we played. The first remake introduced real-time combat while keeping some turn-based elements, but Rebirth took things even further. The semi-open world was one of the biggest changes. Gone were the linear corridors of the original. Instead, Rebirth introduced massive regions filled with side quests, mini-games, and hidden secrets. Some players loved this expanded world. It made Midgar and beyond feel alive in ways we'd never seen before. But others felt it was a distraction. The original had tight pacing, moving from one intense moment to the next. In Rebirth, you could spend hours doing side content before returning to the main story. And then there's the combat. Square Enix perfected the hybrid system, mixing fast action with strategic elements. But for some die-hard fans of the original turn-based combat, it still didn't feel right. The industry impact, a new standard for remakes? Final Fantasy VII Rebirth didn't just change its own series, it set a new precedent for video game remakes. Before, remakes were faithful recreations, polished versions of classics with better graphics. But after Rebirth, the definition changed. Now, a remake can expand, alter, and even rewrite the game it's based on. The question is, should other franchises follow suit? Imagine if Metal Gear Solid Chrono Trigger or even The Legend of Zelda got the same treatment. Would fans accept it, or would they demand a more traditional approach? Square Enix took a risk with Rebirth, and while not everyone agrees with their choices, they proved one thing. A remake doesn't have to be just a nostalgia trip. It can be a bold, new experience that challenges everything we thought we knew. So, what comes next? The biggest question now is, how will the Final Fantasy VII Remake trilogy end? Will Square Enix go all in on rewriting the story, or will they find a way to merge the past and present into something that pleases both old and new fans? One thing is certain: Final Fantasy VII Rebirth wasn't just another remake. It was a statement, and whether you love it or hate it, it changed the series forever. What do you think? Did Square Enix make the right choice, or did they take too many risks? Let's discuss in the comments.